Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So we're gonna get right into this tutorial. My tumbler is already prepped and primed white. I'm just using one of those 19 ounces from Michaels. I'm using Mod Podge here that I'm gonna use to apply my glitter to. You can use epoxy as well, but you know, just to get it done a little easier, we're gonna use Mod Podge today. I get these brushes from Michaels as well. They're just little painters, kind of have like a little bristle at the end. Bristle. Anyways, you want to make sure that there's no like streaky lines. Like as you can see, I'm going over any like lines that I'm noticing are popping out. And don't forget the booty. So Mod Podge dries very quickly, so we want to get right into applying our glitter. All the glitters I use in this video will be linked down in the description box. They are from Chimp. I placed my first order with them not too long ago, and I'm obsessed with every color that I got. I wanted to go for a spring vibe for this video. I love the spring colors, the pastels, all that. I love all those colors, yellows, pinks, you know, all the vibes for spring. So I'm just randomly like spritzing the glitter around. I'm not really doing any special kind of technique. I'm just kind of filling in any spots around each color, giving, you know, each color some room to, you know, add a different color next to it. I suck at this, guys, okay? Bear with me. You see what I'm doing. You know what I'm doing, okay? And don't even try to come from my crusty, clampy crafter hands right now, okay? Because it is winter time in New Jersey, and you know how them dry knuckles get. So I'm just dry brushing all the glitter off, the first coat of glitter. I waited about 15 to 20 minutes for this to dry before I started doing this. This just, you know, gets all that excess glitter off that we don't need. And I am going to go in with a second coat. You'll be able to see here where I placed that first set of glitter. So I'm just going to try to go right over those same exact spots with the same color. So this is what she's looking like. Very cute, very fierce, very springy. Next, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go outside and I'm going to spray the crap out of this tumbler with just clear gloss spray paint from Rust-Oleum. I'll let that dry for about an hour just to be safe. You can, you know, put it next to a space heater to speed up that time. And now I'm just going to mix 30 milliliters of epoxy. I do want my first coat to be a little heavier because I am going to go in with some light sanding after this first coat. So I do want it to be pretty full coverage. Don't forget to have your PPE on when you're dealing with epoxy, you know, gloves, respirator, goggles if you have any. I'm going to list the respirator that I use from Amazon in the description box as well, but this is so important. After I feel like there's a pretty fair amount on that and I'm happy with, you know, covering each area, I'm going to go in with my heat gun. This is just going to pop any little micro bubbles that may be on the tumbler that you can't see. And I'm just going to quickly go back and forth for just about 30 seconds. I let this dry for 4 hours before I got into my sanding. So I'm just using a 120 grit sanding block that I purchased at Walmart. And it's super important that we sand this properly because it is going to be a peekaboo. So we don't want any little bumps anywhere on this tumbler, because once we seal our spray paint over our decal later on, you will be able to see any little lump underneath that spray paint. So it's very important to just take your time with this. I'm using a, like I said, 120 grit, super light. We're just sanding this very lightly. We don't want to over sand and go through that first coat of epoxy. And then I'm just going to get the rim. I didn't feel any like little lumps or bumps around the tumbler, so I just wanted to get that bottom and the rim done correctly. The rim is also very important because, you know, once you spray paint or glitter a tumbler, everything kind of pulls towards the top or the bottom. Like, since they're the end of the tumbler, it's I guess more sensitive, you can say. So this step is important also. I do it kind of at like an angle, as you can see. I'm not just sanding right on top. I'm going on an angle. So once I was happy with how I sanded it, I just sprayed this paper towel with 91% rubbing alcohol, and I'm just cleaning up all the residue on the entire tumbler before we start adding our decals. So I already cut out my decals. I'm using a black piece of vinyl so that we can see through the spray paint that we're going to be using later on. And I've just got some cute little daisies, some cheetah prints or leopard prints. I honestly don't know the difference, and I don't care to know the difference. I just know which one I like for which tumbler, okay? I know that bothers some people, like knowing which is which, and I just really don't care at all. So now it's time for the fun part. I already put one little daisy on there. I forgot to start recording. Luckily I caught it right away. But I'm just going to be randomly placing these all over the tumbler, just kind of covering the whole tumbler. I am going to leave little spots, like little areas of no decal, just because I'm going to be adding like a little glitter to those areas later on. You'll see what I mean. But I just want to get like an even vision of where I'm going to be placing the flowers versus the cheetah spots. This is no special way. You can do it however you want. Just randomly put them wherever you feel is gonna, you know, look like it's a good coverage to you. I hope I'm making sense, guys. Like, I feel like I have no words to like describe exactly what I'm doing. Like, this is just such a random design. I'm just trying to explain it the best I can, and I'm not like a professional YouTuber or anything, so don't come at my description skills, okay? I'm trying my best. I'm doing the same thing with the cheetah spots, but I just want like little tiny sections of the print. I'm not gonna cover the entire tumbler around those flowers with the spots. I just want like little sections in each random spot. Okay, once you're finished applying all your decals and you're happy with how it's looking, double check around the whole tumbler, make sure everything looks even to you. And then we're gonna be going right into our spray paint, which is gonna create that peekaboo effect that we need. So now I'm gonna go back outside and I'm gonna spray paint my entire tumbler again. This is Rust-Oleum brand, just a gloss. It's called Khaki. And I'm gonna let that dry for a few hours, or if it's in a warm room, that will speed up the time. This is what it's gonna be looking like once it's nice and dry. As you can see, we can see all of our decals perfectly because we use that black vinyl, and we're just gonna start picking away. This is pretty time consuming and very tedious because of those sharp edges. You don't wanna pull at this too quickly before you mess any of that spray paint up. You never know if like a piece of that spray paint is gonna pull up with the decal. So just go slow with this, take your time. You're gonna just pick up each piece of vinyl that you placed, and once I'm done with this, I will be right back because this is boring to watch. Can we skip to the good part? Can we skip to the good part? Who in the world allowed me to have a YouTube channel? Because I need to talk to them. Do 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 do. Okay, here is the beauty herself. I lifted up all those decals and she's looking super cute so far. So now I'm gonna go in with my next step, and I'm gonna just put like little white circles over those tan. I didn't like how the tan looked, so I just kind of eyeballed the sizing and I just cut those out on my Cricut, and I'm gonna place them right on top of the tan ones. I'm happy with how it's looking, so now I'm gonna go in with my second coat of epoxy. You don't wanna use too thin or too thick of a coat for this one. We are gonna do another final coat over this, so don't worry about getting it to be too thick right now. Just get that fully covered. I think I used about 25 milliliters for this one. 20 to 25. You'll be able to eyeball it and just, feel how much you need. Every size is different, so if you're using like a 30 ounce or a 20 ounce skinny, you might use a little more or less of epoxy. But you'll feel once it's fully covered. You'll know. You'll know in your heart. Okay, let me stop. Let me be more serious here. Again, I'm going to be going in with my heat gun to pop any of those little micro bubbles that we talked about earlier. Super quick strokes. You don't want too much heat on this or it will damage the epoxy and it'll start creating like those little fish eyes. We don't want any of that. I'm using this chunky opal glitter from Glitter Pimpin. I actually got this for free in one of my Tumbler swaps. And in those blank areas that we didn't add any decals, that's where I'm going to be applying these big areas of the glitter. Again, there's no right or wrong for how you're applying this. If you want, just little areas, or if you want big, thicker, fuller areas, which is kind of what I'm going for here, just add as you like and as you prefer, and just keep going around the whole tumbler until you're satisfied. Get a good look at it before that epoxy dries. But once I'm happy with how it looks, I'm going to let this dry for another 4 hours. And then I'm going to go in with any final sanding I need to do. And then cover that up with another 20 milliliters of epoxy. And then that will be it. I think this design is so cute and simple. This would even look beautiful with a white base instead of the tan that I used. I just wanted to do something different. this is the final outcome. There's a lot going on, very detailed, very glittery. I hope you guys loved my tutorial. I hope it was easy enough to follow. This will be available on my ready to sell on the 18th, February 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And thank you guys so much again. I'll see you in my next one.